All right. Now we have the session being recorded. My name is Gary Sheets, and I am with Eastern Online. I am an instructional designer, and most of my work is actually with the instructors. We've got a number of things going on. People are joining our session. One of the things I'd like to ask is, and you can put it in this little chat box down in the lower left corner. Where are you from? What's your major? Could you guys start contributing a little bit there in the chat box? Just let us know. We really want to know who we're talking to and where you're from. And if you have microphones, feel free to turn them on now. If you have video, if you have webcams. All right, we got finance, we got Seattle. Great. That's what I'm looking for. Got nursing majors. Good stuff. Ridgefield, Spokane Valley. Great. Glad to see you guys join. Oh, we got somebody from Oregon. All right. Last time I did this, we had somebody from Alaska. Anybody want to comment? I see we've got somebody there on video. Is that Allie?
Hi.
Do you have a microphone, Allie?
Yes, I do.
If you push the talk button next to the video that you had there, we should be able to hear you.
Can you hear me now? I can't hear myself.
Oh. Well, you've got your mic on. I'm not hearing you yet.
Oh. Okay. I don't know how I can hear you. You can hear me?
I can hear you.
Hi, everybody. I can't hear myself.
Well, I hope everybody can hear. That's good. If you can't hear, please let us know, and you can use the chat box in the corner to do that. All right?
I have a quick question, sorry. If I'm on video?
All right. First off, I would like to start this with, those that are just joining, be sure and let us know where you're from and what your major is, if you would. And you can do that in the chat box. Appreciate that. That kind of lets us know where we're coming from and who all's out there. All right, more stuff coming in. Great. First off, let me start by saying welcome to everybody. This is the new student orientation for Eastern Online, and I'd like to welcome you to the university, first off, and secondly, specifically to Eastern Online. We really do want you to be successful here and are backing up our desires with this orientation and with other support for you. Our goal is your success. That's really what we're striving for. Now, for some of you, this may be a first time that you've taken an online session or an online course from Eastern. And because we want you to be successful, I want you to understand that one of the absolute key components to being successful is learning to take care of your time management. That may seem basic, but this is a class that doesn't come on at 8 o'clock Monday morning, every morning. It doesn't work that way. You can study at your own time. And if 3 o'clock in the morning works for you, or if 8 o'clock at night works for you, that's great. Pick a time, pick a day, pick a number of days, depending on your sessions, the classes that you're taking, and get in there and do the studying that you need. You need to spend the time, and you need to study on a regular basis. And I know that may seem rather basic, but it really is a key to this online learning. You are responsible for that, and setting up a regular study time and sticking with it will be one of the most important things you can do. May sound funny, but trust me on this. I've been at it for a little while. Another key component is carefully and completely reading your material in your course, and that means the syllabus, that means instructions, that means the assignments. Read and understand. If you're not understanding what you're reading, then you need to contact your instructor, okay? But I just cannot emphasize enough carefully reading the material. Your success is really within your control. And that's one of the really nice things about the online world. You can control this. All of you have different, you have work responsibilities, you have student responsibilities, you may have children, all of these things, and all of that is stuff that by carefully taking care of your time management, you can make this happen, and you can be successful. We have people that are successful on a regular basis, and we want this to be good for you. A little bit on the technical requirements. One of the things is, how do I get to my Canvas course? And the URL, the address is canvas.ewu.edu. And when you log in, login, when you go to log into your account, the ID is your student ID. It is whatever you use to get to your email, to your campus email. It's the same student ID, and it's the same password. So when you get to Canvas and you get to the login, you use the same thing you would use on campus for email or for getting your campus email. And that's another point, is that the campus email is the way the university will communicate with you. And I know you have your favorite emails and you have personal emails and that sort of thing, and that's great, but you really need to focus on getting into your student email on a regular basis. And it's not something that you can just forward to your Gmail account. I know there's a lot of you that would like to do that, but because of security and other issues that we have, our system is not set up to allow that kind of forwarding, that automatic forwarding. And I just think you need to know that, okay? Sort of other things in technical requirements. Your browsers, there isn't a perfect browser out there, but there are several that will work. Canvas likes Chrome, it likes Firefox, likes Safari, doesn't get along very well with Internet Explorer. One of the key things here is keep your software up to date. Try and stay with the latest versions. And when I say your software, I mean your system software too. If you're in Windows or you're in Mac software and you're in 10, that kind of thing, make sure that you are keeping your software up to date. Keep your antivirus up to date. Keep your drivers up to date. Keep your browsers up to date. And that's a really important thing that you need to be aware of. Now, on the software part of it, when we talk about keeping software up to date, something you need to be aware of is that software is available, and as students, you get a heck of a good break on this stuff. And because you are a student at the campus, let's see, I'm going to bring up, let's go to, okay. Just a moment. We're going to switch over here, and I'm switching to one of our websites. There we go, Eastern Online. Here's some of the resources you have available to you. This is on our Eastern Online. If you go on to the main campus website, which is ewu.edu. ewu.edu is the main Eastern website. And if you do a search there for Eastern Online, you will come up with several pages. The one that I'm picking on here is student resources. And all these little icons here are things like the icons for test proctoring information, for the university bookstore. One of the questions we get is, well, how do I get my books? How do I know what books I need to get because I'm going to take a class next quarter? And the university bookstore will have the requirements for the different classes, and whether you buy from the bookstore or not is up to you. But the university bookstore will have a searchable database that will show you that a specific class has a specific textbook. And that way you can know exactly which one you need. And version is very important. All right? Now, there's online tutoring. There's e-tutoring that's available to you. We have admissions information. We have disability support services. If anybody needs special resources, if there's hearing difficulties or eyesight is an issue, we have things that we can help you with there, and we want you to be successful, and there are ways we can address some of that. There's things on financial services, financial aid, and the library. Don't forget the library. The library has electronic editions of things. They have electronic media. They also can send you books, you know, those old-fashioned things that fold up and you can put on your desktop. They will literally mail you a book if you need it and you request it through the library system. So there's some good stuff available here. There's transcripts and there's a writer's center in the library. So those of you that are having issues, you're having to write papers. Anybody have to write papers? I know that you do once in a while.
Yeah.
Those things, you can get help. You can get independent help from the Writer's Center online and get people to help you with that and to evaluate your writing and to give you some feedback on that. So there's some really cool student resources here that are greatly underutilized. All right. Now, in the same website, you know, we've got things that talk about the online programs, what we have for graduate programs and undergraduate degrees, minors, certificates, and all of that. There's lists of courses. You can register. There's costs. All of that material is available. And I really hope you'll take advantage of these pages and this information. Along with the software and things, well, let's see, I was on software. Let me do a quick search here. Tell you what, I'm going to go to our campus site. Okay, what do I do? There we go. And I'm going to do a quick search for software. And notice we have EWU software for faculty, staff, and or students. And that page doesn't want to display right here, but I'll fix that. Hang on just a minute. Okay, we're going to display it. Oh, come on. Come on, why aren't you showing me? This is odd. There we go. Okay. Now, this is software for faculty and/or staff, and what you need to know is that as students, you can get in and you can get Office 365 for Windows or Mac and free antivirus software. So, you know, you have no reason that you can't use documents, that you can't create PowerPoints and so forth. The software is provided. It's free. Free is good. There's also Adobe Creative Cloud, and there's either some no-cost or low-cost materials that are available there. So you can get all kinds of Adobe software. And between Microsoft and Adobe, that covers a lot of the bases. For some of the courses, you may have specialized software like statistics packages. Some of those are very expensive and not practical for home use. But we have virtual labs. For those of you that will not be on the campus, there are virtual labs available. You can go into a virtual lab, use a high-dollar statistics program, get your results, and do that all from home. All right? So there are, you know, you think of computer labs and you think of walking in, but we have computer labs that you can use from a distance, and there's a lot more software on those and specialized software. So software is pretty well taken care of, and that's part of being a student here. It's one of our benefits. When it comes to the equipment that's needed, pretty much if your computer is, say, 3 years or less old, you're probably in good shape. Those of you that are here, you've joined us, you're on computers, some of you may be even on your phone or on a tablet. And I will say that tablets can be used for a lot of Canvas and a lot of the instruction. It doesn't work for everything, and your phone doesn't work for everything, but it will work for some things. You can participate in discussion boards. I don't recommend them for taking tests. I would rather do that on a laptop or a desktop machine. But you certainly can give it a go if you like. But I'm not going to recommend that for you. You'll need high-speed lines. Anything with a standard dial-up modem is not going to cut it. It just isn't. We have too much video and other media in the courses, and you need to have decent high-speed lines. So that's a requirement. For things like this, you may do projects with some of your other students, and it may require video and it may require audio. To do those things, a headset with a microphone is really handy. It's not high dollars. They start at about 20 bucks. If you need a webcam, webcams start at about 20 bucks also. So again, it's not a major investment. But for most of you, if you're using a laptop or you're using a tablet, you've already got a camera built into it. You may even have a microphone built in, but if we get very many people on that, you can get feedback issues. So we really recommend for the audio that you use a headset and a microphone. At the best, worst case, take and put a headset in and use the microphone that's built into the tablet. I mean, you can get by that way, but otherwise, if you got speakers on your desk and a microphone, you can get some feedback issues. Not good. Okay, so we went over the webcam and all that sort of stuff. Now, one of the things that comes up is, when will my course be available? It's available today. Today is the start of the quarter, and for you students that are starting this quarter, your course should be up and running now. If it's not, you can contact our office, and we can look into that sort of a problem. We want to know if it's not available. It should be available today. Some of you have got into classes that may have been turned on last week or earlier this week, and that's okay, but you can't expect your teacher to be following all of that until the start of the quarter. You can go in and look around, and sort of gives you a chance to see what's happening. But basically, your course is going to be available the day that the quarter starts. And by the same token, it's going to get turned off at the end of the quarter, plus or minus a few days. Each instructor has their own way of doing business and may set their own deadlines. But understand, it could switch off at the exact end of the quarter, okay? Our basic course design is one. I am going to try to bring you into Canvas here. Let's see what I can do here. And all right, I'm going to share a desktop here. We're going to do it this. All right. All right. All right, here's what it looks like when you first get into a class. And there are announcements, assignments, notifications, discussions. When you first get in, you can look at the announcements and see what's here, and that there's a study guide that's here. This information, this instructor has posted a study guide. All right. I'm going to back up here for just a moment. This is a place to come in and check for additional information. I have an online orientation site set up, and I'm going to go to my modules. This is pretty typical of how our site will look. The very top, it says Setup and Support, and that's support for Eastern Online courses. That basic Canvas site, that basic setup will get you started. That has a lot of additional information that it goes to, and by clicking there, you can get access to a lot more information. That should be on nearly every course that you see. We can go to that. We can go to the setup information, and it will tell you how to do a profile, how to do notifications, and all of that. What I'm going to do is show you how that works. I'm going to go back here. Oops, let's go back this way. And I'm going to go to Modules. And when you first get in, you will want to set up a couple of things here. And in your account, that's this thing right below the eagle where it says account. You can go in and set your profile. And I have a profile picture set up, a little biography, and I can click the edit button on the far right, and that will allow me to modify these things. Most of your instructors will want to see your smiling face in there, so really put in some kind of a photo. It's a good thing to do. I seem to have something that's a little bit different in here. So if I want to upload a picture or choose a picture. Let's see if I've got anything that's any better here. Well, not in there. Let's go to pictures. Let's see. We'll go to sample pictures. Yeah, oh, that's where he came from. That was my sample picture. I'll put a different picture in there. And we'll crop it a little bit. Save that. Okay, now I have a new picture up. And I'll save my profile. Okay, profile is one of the things you want to set up. Here's a really important one. It's called notifications. Okay. This looks kind of jumbled a bit. Notice that over here I have an EWU address. And I also have a Gmail address. And you can set up and get notifications to a different email. But this is where some of that communications is going to come in from your course, and things on course content, announcements. I really recommend you get announcements on a regular basis. Something may come up that's important and you need to know about it. And the things that you choose over here, if you choose the check mark, that is going to be something that will come to you on a as soon as it happens basis. If you pick some of the other options here, you can get a daily summary, you can get a weekly summary, or you can pick the X and you won't get any notification on that particular thing. And if you notice on the notifications, there's a lot of stuff there. You can get it sent to I certainly recommend that it comes to your EWU email address, but if you want to add another email address, you can go into settings and you can add another address. You can also have it come to your cell phone. It's not something I'd recommend. That sucker would be ringing all the time, potentially, and so you may want to avoid that. But these are some of the things that you can do, and if your email is getting filled up with these notifications, you can always go in and modify your settings here. But do study the settings and the notification preferences, and there's a lot of flexibility that you have at this point, and there's certain things that you really want to get. And announcements and grades and things like that, something you want to see, I'm sure. All right, let's take and go back. I'm going to go back to our course. I'm going to go back to our modules. All right, the second module down here is getting started with your course. And this is where you will see a video of the instructor. The instructor will have a little welcome video usually. Not everybody does, but quite a few of our instructors do. And this one here is a nutrition course. Okay. What I wanted to show you is just that we've got this video. That's the instructor. You may not have been able to hear it. It has to do with doing these things in a web format. That's a little bit of an issue. The other thing is I talked about a syllabus earlier, and the ability to go in and review the syllabus, to look at it and go through and read the syllabus content. This is something you can do within the system, or you can download it. You can print it if you like. It gives you the point values, class summary, all that sort of thing. And something you really do need to read. It could be very important to your progress. All right. There's grading and assignments. There's review of the course calendar. Over to the left, there's a calendar there. It will show you. Let's take a look at a calendar. Come on. Need some traveling music or something here. All right. Now we've got the summer development. I need to see. Here we go. New student online orientation. Now these are items. They could be assignments. They could be quizzes. But you see the things that pop up on the calendar. If you have multiple classes, on the right, there's a checkbox next to the calendar name. And you can go in and check that box or uncheck it. And if you check it, then it will show you things related to that course. If you have several of them checked, they will come up at different colors. They'll come up in different colors. And you just need to be aware of that. And you can look through your list and check or uncheck them as you want. But that's calendar, and this will show everything that you're connected with. Whether you were teaching the class or taking the class, the calendar will be there for anything you are connected with. Something else I should mention is the inbox. The inbox here is how communications goes within Canvas. You do not have to have other students' or teachers' email address to be able to connect with them. Okay. Need some more of that traveling music. All right. There's a number of things here. Let's take and these are emails, mails that I've been sent. But if I want to send something to someone, I go up to the upper right corner, and there's a little icon that looks like a piece of paper with a pencil laying on it, and it says compose a new message. And I click on that, and then it says select a course. So I go there, and I'm going to say, oh, new student orientation. So I'm going to select that particular course. And I will get a list of who's in there, and I can click on that. So I don't have to know their name, but I can send it to students. All the students, or I can pick students, or I can send it to the teacher, which is sort of talking to myself. But I can put in, I can say, okay, there's 2 of us in there as teachers. I'll send something to Janet. I can put in a subject, just like you would with your regular email. And that would be I can take and put that in there, and then I can click down in the box below and start typing my messages. That's a little slow because of all the things that we have going on right now, and then I just hit the send button. Also, I would point out that down in this lower left corner of the message, the one that looks like a little piece of film will allow you to make a media message. You can send it with audio and video, and the little paper clip will allow you to attach files. So that's pretty straightforward there. I'm going to cancel that message. I'm going to get out of here. All right, and I'm going to go back to the dashboard. You'll find that when you're in Canvas, it should work a bit faster than what you're seeing here. and that's because of the other software and the fact that we're doing it over the web. That's creating a little bit of an issue. All right, we're going to go back to the new student orientation here and back to modules. I have 3 modules here, and from 3 different courses. This first one is a module from a biology course, and you see how it's structured. There's an instructor overview video, and then a module, and then readings, and then lectures, and video, and so forth down the way, and a couple of assignments, and a discussion board, and then a quiz, and then a little thing that says the end of the module. Well, the next module is one for a nutrition class. It's similar. It's got a to-do list, and then a lecture, and then readings, and then a lecture, and another lecture, and more readings, and it goes on that way. These little icons that you see off to the left, if it looks like a page of paper, it's what we call a content page, and that means there's some sort of information on there. Whether it's a to-do list or whether it's a lecture, it's got something on there, but it's not graded. If you go down to something that is an assignment, or like a discussion board, the discussion board has something that looks like a little thought bubble or a speech bubble, like a cartoon, and that tells you that it's a discussion board, and discussion boards will allow you to reply to the things that you see in there, comments, and you can make audio and video comments also, but the discussion board allows you to reply, and it's graded, and it will give you the due date down below and the point value. The little thing that looks like a billiard cue, the round one with the round circle in it, is a quiz icon, and that also is a graded item, and of course it's a quiz, it's a test. That's pretty straightforward. Now, this one doesn't show, he doesn't have an assignment in here, so I'm going to step back to the previous one, and notice under assignments here, there's a little piece of paper, but it's got an A on it. That means that it's graded. Anything with an assignment, anything with an icon that looks like that little piece of paper with the A on it is graded, and it is an assignment. Technically, it's an assignment. So be aware, that's what these little icons are about down the side. And like I said, the second module came from a nutrition class. This third module came out of a dental hygiene course. And it follows kind of the same thing. There's an overview, there's a to-do list, there's readings, and here you've got to do a concept map. That's something quite different. It's an assignment. And then there's a discussion board, and then there's a little thing that says it's the end of the week. Now what I'm going to recommend is anytime you go into these courses, start at the top, start with the top item, and notice here that you have a previous and a next button. If you hit the next button and work your way through the module, you cannot miss anything. It will go next, 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 and everything will show up in order. If you go in and out of the module on individual items, you potentially could bypass something, and it could be something important. We don't want you to bypass anything important. All right? So here's the readings, and by going through the next button, I'm going to see everything for that particular part. And here's a concept map, and down here is a grading rubric. This tells me what I'm going to be graded on for this particular map, for this particular assignment. And when you go in and see the grades that you have received, you can go in and look at your grades, and you can look at what you turned in and see what the instructor scored it, and individual items where you gained points and where you lost points, and that's going to be in these rubrics. The rubrics are for grading purposes and for feedback to you. So those are things that you'll be getting introduced to. And here's what a discussion board looks like. And when you want to reply to a discussion, all you have to do is go, there's the original post and the question, and all you have to do is go click on the reply. And now you have a text box that you can type in, or where you see this little piece of film here, this little icon, you can make a media piece, and you can discuss things in a media format. All right. I'm going to cancel that. I'm going to stay out of their discussion. This is what a reply looks like that's been posted. If a student, if you want to respond to this particular student, you just hit the reply in that little comment area, and then you can comment to that particular student. All right? That's how you operate the discussion board. Now, we are currently using a product that's called Blackboard Collaborate. And if you notice right down the side here, it says BB Collaborate. And that's the web conferencing we're using. You have this available to use as a student. You can come in here and hold meetings with other students on student projects and things of that nature. You may end up using this for presenting to your course and you can do this from halfway around the world. So you can get your group together no matter where they're located and do this on a web system. It does have to be everybody at the same time. That's critical. But this is something that's built into the system, and you have it available to you. Also under collaborations, there's another system that does web conferencing, and you're free to use that. It happens to be called Big Blue Button. It's built into the system. So there's a few things you can do here that will allow you to communicate with your other students, with your peers. All right? Let's see. All right. Now, there's a few of you that are going to need to when it comes time for your tests, you will need to get them proctored. And that can be done different ways. Some of you will have to go to a location, a library, a school, or something in your area. You may have to come on campus and take a test. We know that most of our students are within a few miles of our campus, with others that are several miles away, and in some cases several other states away. But we can arrange, we can help with the proctoring of these exams, but there are certain standards for that. And in your resources that I talked about at the beginning, there is some information on proctoring, and something I really recommend you read prior to when you're going to need to take a test. Okay? Now, when you do submit an assignment, one of the things about assignments is that, in this Canvas system, is that if you do a draft version of a document and then you decide you get some feedback on it and you want to submit a second draft, you can go into that same area and submit another paper. You do not have to delete the first. You don't have to reset things. You can submit. You can submit a third paper if you want. The thing about assignments is you can continue to submit items as long as it's been set up to accept that. Generally it is. So the default is that you can submit multiple papers, and it keeps track, and the instructor can see which paper was submitted when and which one's your final draft and that sort of thing, and then be able to grade the final version. So don't feel like you've submitted and now you can't do anything about it. You can go back and you can resubmit. You can put in another paper. All right? And it will keep track of times and dates. So you can't fudge that. It goes in when it goes in, and it records all of that. Now, I think I've covered about what I wanted to cover. Janet, do you have anything you'd like to add? Otherwise, I know there's been questions coming in. I know you've been responding to those. Is there any questions that I can help with? and or something that I may have missed that people have commented on, because I can't always follow the chat and do this.
Yeah, just one thing I wanted to mention is be sure that you check your Canvas browser to make sure it's one of the ones that Canvas supports. I think we missed that this time around. I've just put the browser guide in the chat, and you want to make sure that you're on one that is supported, because you will have problems if you don't have a supported browser. And some of them they do not use. There's also some things that you can't do on iPads. For instance, you can see that here, that somebody had problems with that, and phones. There are times when a computer system is your best bet, especially going just through every single module, making sure you don't miss something in the classes. So I'd recommend that. And there's a question that just when we submit a paper, how will the instructor know which one is the final draft, which one's a rough draft? Well, I'd recommend just posting that it says it's a rough draft. And also there are dates as they get submitted, so somebody can tell what date and which one's the newer and later date on those. So that's in there. Gary, did you want to show them how you can look up instructor feedback in the gradebook? I think that was something else that we were going to cover.
Okay, let's take a look. What I need to do there, I'm going to go and approach this as a student. I'm going to take the student view, and I'm going to go check my grades, see how I've been doing. And here's things, and oh, there's one item here. There's a concept map. Doesn't appear that I've turned in anything that's graded, so that's going to be a problem right now. But this is what it will look like. So you can go in and look at your assignment. You can click on it, and it tells me when something, submission details. It'll say when it was submitted, and it will show any comments that were made, any media comments made. It will show the grade. And you notice that I can resubmit. Notice the little plus up here? I can resubmit this assignment. And that's an important thing. All right. So that's how you would go and look at things. But that's how you would see your grades. And then simply click on one of the items that you want to learn more about, and it will take you there, and it will show you any comments that the instructor has made, and you will see your score, and you'll also see the due dates of things. Okay, so that's kind of handy. Tells you how many points are possible and how many you've received, and any comments. Okay, I've got a test student here. I got, you know, I like them. Okay, so they liked that particular thing. So there's a comment, and there would be comments lined up here about anything that has been submitted. If it's appropriate for the instructor to comment. On a quiz, it's not a big deal. You have what you have. Okay. Questions? And you do have to go and look for this. It's not going to land on your desk. You have to go check. Okay. Yeah, and not only will the instructors give you feedback and comments, some of them will give you video or audio comments on them. All right. Other questions? Anybody? I just have a question about the access code. Okay. The access code to be able to get in is going to be the same thing you use for getting to your email. When it asks you to log in, use your name and your code that you use for getting into your student email. If you need help, you can go to the help desk. You can look it up on EWU's website and simply do a search for the help desk, and you can get in chats with them or you can call them. You can do a email too and submit a trouble report. If that doesn't work, by all means get in contact with us, and we are in...
Gary, she's talking about MyLab. I'm not sure which class that is.
MyLab comes into a number of courses. Yeah, it depends on exactly which course that is, and that's a different thing. That I don't know that those work with our single sign-on.
She's saying it's Geography 100, I believe, and I'm not sure. Jeanette, do you know anything about that one?
I don't know for geography. We've not had the question come up. It has come up for MISC 211, and we don't really have access to those logins, so we always tell the students to contact the instructor.
Okay, that's a reasonable answer. Anybody else? All right, and okay, Jeanette, you wanted the students to use a particular number if they want to contact us.
Well, the Eastern Online contact information, you can email us at easternonline@ewu.edu. Our main telephone number would be 509-359-2268. If you need to call toll-free, that's 1-800-924-6606.
Thank you. All right. Anybody else? Any other questions? We still have quite a few people on the line here, and I'm certainly willing to stick around a while and try to answer some of this. Anybody want to hit their mic and ask a question? Feel free. That should be whether your instructor in the syllabus and in other information when it comes to the test should let you know if it's a proctored exam.
We do send out an email too, Gary, about everybody that is proctored.
There you go. Thank you, Amy. All right. Anything else? Please, feel free. All right. And what I am going to do is quit the sharing. We'll go back to this. And I'm going to back this up for our new student orientation. And I'm going to end the recording.